Righto. The business end, or well, the front end of the Hilux, and as you can see, it's got a motor in it. It's not the original motor you would have seen. Long story there. We're not going to go right in the details, but it was stolen. But this is the motor I bought to replace it. Not the same one. The original motor I bought is impossible. Well, not impossible probably, but I can't find a way of getting it into Australia anymore. So this is the next best thing I found. Not quite as powerful, still a decent motor though, especially for the price I paid for it. It's a Chinese brand called Zibo. Yeah, I think it's $1,500 I paid for it. So a little bit cheaper than the last motor actually, but again, not quite as powerful. But from what I've been told and found out, it should do the trick for this car. It won't be anything crazy. As you can see, it won't be anything crazy, but you know, it'll do highway speeds. Has enough torque to you know, do full driving, carry loads, etc. Like I said, it is rated as their high torque traction motor. It's a DC motor. I didn't go AC again. I just prefer. I know there's a lot of arguments to and fro, but I just prefer DC motors. I just like them, and two, they're just a bit cheaper and simple to work with. Like I said, don't get me wrong, there's some great AC motors out there, but you can't really get a decent AC motor for the price I paid for this. Like this is, yeah, I said $1,500, and what was the little spec thing there? That's the specs of the motor. If you don't know much about electric motors, you'll see that 11 kilowatts an hour and you go, what the fuck, that's like dismal. I can't explain it. All I can say is to do some research. It's different with electric motors. Like I said, this will do highway speeds, carry loads. Like I said, not anything crazy, but it'll be at least as powerful as the, you know, factory diesel engine that came out of this. But I'd imagine a little bit better, in all honesty, like, because it was pretty sluggish, that original 2.8 diesel. But yeah, this just fights the needs quite well. We'll find out anyway. I haven't got a control box or anything for it yet. Obviously I need to save the money for it. Neither is the power steering or brakes done, but that's all pretty simple stuff. It's going to be done soon enough. You'll see in my next video that'll be done. But as for the actual motor, pretty simple process in actually mounting it to the gearbox. It's simply, I haven't got a picture of it unfortunately, but there's a coupler, basically bolts onto the shaft of your motor, and that just literally just slots directly onto the shaft in your gearbox. I can't remember what it's called. I'm not a mechanic, but that gives you an idea. I can still do this. Yeah, anyway, that slots on there, and obviously this plate here, it's 20mm aluminium plate. It bolts to the front of the motor, and that whole thing bolts to the bell housing, obviously lined up with the shaft, so it all goes in nicely. And then yeah, you bolt it all to the bell housing, and everything's all good. And then I've just me and a mate of mine who's an ex-boiler maker have just made these brackets to mount. So we've got the mounts on the motor underneath it. There's the feet of it. So basically we've made mounts that bolt to the original mounts on the car, even the you know, these rubberized ones. So at the back here, so the motor is actually fully bolted to the bell housing, and also it's got 4 points of contact to the chassis on the original motor mounts that held the original diesel engine. We've just made brackets to suit. I'll try underneath, you can see. Oh, there we go. All right, so you can see there's that one there. It just comes down and it goes across to the feet there, same other side, and then there's that bracket there that basically goes across that mount underneath, and it goes across this one here too, and it's bolted there, so everything's nice and solid. In all honesty, guys, I said I'm not a mechanic, but this is a very simple, nice, smooth procedure to do. even my mates that helped me, that have done, you know, petrol engine swaps and that, he was dumbfounded by how simple this is to do. But yeah, so that's the motor in there. I've also made this big rack here. It's just 10mm steel bar plate. This flat stock. It's run across here, each side on the original battery spots in the engine bay. I've just got a bracket like that underneath, just a bit of plate, and it's got a bolt through it. And it goes to a, if you can see, a plate down there. And it's just got thread rods. That's bolted up down tight, so it clamps this whole bottom rack in tight, and then that has a bit of thread rod that goes up here to the top clamp, which basically this can hold 300 amp hour lead acid batteries in a line, and then this obviously just goes on top, and you put nuts there, and that just clamps them all down nice and tight, because they're basically going to be powering the obviously factory 12 volt setup in the car, and they'll also be powering the replacement 12 volt power steering pump, which has obviously got to tap into that. That's the vacuum line there. Got a aftermarket pump that's got to tap into there, and also got the that's the brakes over there. Obviously, that's the brakes, and that's power steering. It's the old pump down there. That's going to be replaced again, and all of that is the control box. And the pumps will all be mounted. Sorry, it's very hard to get a good spot here. Yeah, there we go. So all of that will obviously be mounted. The control box will be mounted underneath this battery rack, along with the brake pump and the power steering pump. That way it's all kept away nice and tidy. So yeah, because as you can see, we've got heaps of room under there. Like, that's just another advantage of this electric conversion. It's like, you've just got so much room to work with. Like, honestly, apart from this, I know that this is not finished, but this is, apart from the fact there'll be 3 of these batteries along the front here, this is how the engine bay is going to look. Like, it's really, because all the control box and brake pumps and that, they're going to be hidden. So essentially, that's it. That's an electric car engine bay. Not a lot to it, really. Pretty simple. Obviously, there'll be the battery pack at the back. You know, it'll be here. I've got my rock sliders, so I'm thinking of running obviously through conduit, through these here. The positive this end, negative other side, so they'll just run through the rock slider here. That way they're nice protected back through there, up into the engine bay, and obviously into the control box, which then taps into the motor here. And yeah, basically that's a very basic gist of it. But yeah, basically that's all it goes into it. I can even show you, again, another cool thing about a DC motor over an AC motor is, despite this having no control box or nothing in here, I can actually give you a little, I can show you the motor working actually, because I've just got a 12 volt battery here, got the positive lead reconnected up. We'll just grab the negative lead here, and if you have a listen, that's the motor turning. So everything works, and something a little bit more cooler, we'll just, probably not the greatest idea, but it's only 12 volts, so it's not going to move fast. I'll pop her in first. Again, you don't need a clutch or anything with electric car, you simply just stick it in gear. Usually you wouldn't use first, but this is just to show you. But we'll grab this. I'll just stand back just a little bit so the car doesn't sort of push me over. But we'll show you this. This is this 12 volt battery again. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The car is moving forward, if you can see that. I'll try and hold the camera. I'll hold the camera just like that still. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's the car moving. Oh shit, yeah, I really need to move it back now actually. Because you can see I've driven off the top, but yeah, that's the car working. So yeah, it doesn't have a control box or anything. I can still drive it. Kinda. You put power through it and the motor goes forward. I can even show you again. I actually just cut the video then. So, all right, we got it moved. We got it moved back now. Fixate your eyes somewhere, and let's go. Oh, shit. Okay. Yep. So we've driven the car forward again. So yeah, I think that's about all I can tell you for now. Like, not a lot to say. It's getting there. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Hope that was interesting. Bye.